edition of WTF Worries Top Features. Our topic for today is euthanasia. We are asking all viewers to head to our website www.wtf.com.au and follow the links to email in your opinion. To determine the public's opinion on this controversial issue, we took it to the streets with the question, what is your opinion on euthanasia?
I feel if someone is at that stage in life, then they've still got sound mind and body and they choose euthanasia, you ought to be able to go through with it.
I don't really have an opinion. I think that when someone really believes they're ready to go, that's their choice, it's their life. You know, I mean, you can have an accident and die, or you can be living miserably for years and years and years and want to die. Somebody wants to, it's their life. That's it.
What's your opinion on euthanasia?
I think that it should be able to be used because they're in pain and they shouldn't have to live not being able to do anything and just live with pain, so they should die. Well, have the choice whether they want to die.
Okay.
I have an opinion on euthanasia. I think it should be allowed for the terminally ill. Living is about quality of life, not about suffering. I think people should have the choice to choose euthanasia if that's what they want.
My name's George. Yes, I've got an opinion on euthanasia. 5 months ago, I watched my father die of liver cancer. He had a really difficult time of it. He had a lot of pain. He didn't want to keep living. The doctors kept him alive, and he suffered as a consequence of that. So I think if he'd had the choice, he would have survived a little less longer, but he wouldn't have gone through a lot of pain. So that's my opinion. It should be legal.
I agree with it, because I think everyone should have the right to be without pain. Yeah, absolutely.
What's your opinion on euthanasia?
I think it should happen.
Why?
Because why do you want to lay in a hospital bed when you've got no quality of life?
Again, do you?
Go. What's your opinion on euthanasia?
I think it should happen.
Why?
Because if I can't get up and walk around and know people, I don't want to be here.
Can I ask you, what is your elaborated opinion on euthanasia?
Elaborated. My opinion is that people should be allowed to make a choice to die with dignity. So that if someone is in pain, if they have a terminal illness, if they no longer want to be a part of our world, then really, if they are of sound mind, they should be given the opportunity to make that decision of their own volition.
Thank you. There you go.
Yes, Rachel, I do have an opinion on euthanasia. It may not fit in with a lot of people's thoughts on it. However, I think for those people that are suffering and are in charge of their own faculties and wish to die, then I think they have the right to be able to do that. When there is no chance that, for example, it may be a terminal illness, there is no chance of them living beyond a certain stage, that their pain and suffering becomes so great and their desire to live is such that it is no longer. They would prefer to die. And so therefore I think they have a right to say, yes, I'm ready to go now, and so therefore I support euthanasia. However, it needs to be fairly carefully monitored, and I don't think one doctor would be the go. I think possibly 2 or 3 that are going to be able to yes, okay, yes, okay. So therefore you are not getting into the stages of, that one was euthanized, when really they weren't in charge of their faculties, when really possibly there may have been a cure, or they may have been making out and therefore basically suiciding. That has happened, and happened already, that someone has died when their illness wasn't terminal in the near future, and so therefore they have probably died unnecessarily, and therefore the case may have been suicide. That's my opinion.
Okay, I believe that people should be able to choose to leave their time here on earth when they choose to. So I believe that they should have the decision. If they don't have the mental faculties, or whatever the word is, to make that decision, then nobody else should have that decision. But I believe if you're ill and you are in pain and you're incurable, then you have the right to make that decision in conjunction with doctors, and no one should have the power to overturn that. I believe that everyone deserves to be able to die with dignity.
It is obvious from what we've seen that the public feels very strongly about euthanasia, and it is clear that this topic is widely debated. Many people have emailed in their opinions. One viewer, Ben Rogers, has written in saying, "Euthanasia is a highly debatable topic and there are not too many clear-cut absolutes about it. His personal opinion on it is that he believes that people should be allowed to die in the most dignified way possible. He doesn't believe that people's lives should be strung out unnecessarily, resulting in them being in an uncomfortable, painful or vegetative state with no hope of recovery. He believes that if the medical profession can intervene heavily to save lives, they should also intervene to end it humanely if the patient gives full consent and is mentally able to make the decision themselves. His fear with legalising euthanasia is that it may become a cop-out for individuals too mentally or emotionally weak to face the challenge of illness or disease, from which that they may not recover. He doesn't think the legislation will be tightly worded enough to stop it from being abused by someone. He believes that it is better to not have it in order to prevent the death of an innocent, inappropriate candidate. If it could be legislated that no one else can make the decision for the patient and that there is irrefutable evidence that the condition is terminal and that prolonging the life of the patient will not be in some way beneficial to themselves, their family or the community, that it is worth thinking hard about. Unfortunately, he fears that it would be too easy to abuse, coerce or force an unfortunate person to end their life prematurely for the sake of convenience." Another reader, Emily Lincoln, wrote in saying, "I believe euthanasia should not be legalised. I don't think it is right that any human being has the right to make decision about the life of another." Euthanasia is not only widely debated in the secular community, but also widely debated in the religious community. The majority of religions have found that euthanasia imposes on their beliefs and values. Christianity is highly against euthanasia as it is sinful to kill oneself. On the other hand, Buddhism is one form of religion that accepts euthanasia as some of their religious gods have performed the act themselves as a result of suffering from painful terminal diseases. What is most important in any discussion of global euthanasia is the recognition of the varied ethnic, national and religious differences to be found and respected in communities throughout the world. At the same time, the ethical issues that are raised by the subject of euthanasia should all be embraced. If you wish to learn about any other information stated, please head to the websites put up on our screen. On a more personal note, here in the WTF studio is an Uniting Church Minister M who wishes to remain anonymous.
The Uniting Church takes the stance that euthanasia is a no-no and that it is God's choice when you die, not a doctor or patient's. Suffering from an illness that lowers quality of life, not including instances involving life support being turned off, in our eyes shouldn't constitute prescription death because God lent us life and chooses when to take it back.
In comparison to South Australian Voluntary Euthanasia Society Advocate Representative Nadine Parsons. Welcome to you both.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, it is a pleasure to be sitting at the WTF desk informing your viewers on my organisation's adverse opinions of euthanasia. As previously stated, I am a representative of the Right to Life Australia organisation. One of the main points we like to make apparent is the point that life is sacred. We believe that human life needs to be protected and the sanctity of life respected.
What's the point in protecting life and the point that life is sacred when life has no quality? Being clinically alive is only one aspect of life. The quality of that life is important. Extreme mental and physical suffering creates a life where such quality is denied and such a life should not be forced upon a person against their will.
Imagine how terrible it would be if a patient was euthanized and a cure was discovered that could have saved them. That would be a tragedy and would induce great regret for both the patient's family and the physicians who attended the patient.
Cures take years to discover, test and become generally available. The doctor would need to discuss the prognosis with the patient so they could make an informed decision to whether a cure or remission was worth waiting for.
Euthanasia is an infringement of human rights, Article 3 to be specific. Everyone has the fundamental right to life, and by allowing euthanasia into our laws, Australia would be violating our commitment to follow the United Declaration of Human Rights.
Possibly the biggest argument in a democratic society is that as individuals we have the right to decide our own fate. Patients, terminally ill or otherwise, have the right to make decisions regarding their own life, providing their rights and decisions does not adversely affect society or the rights of others.
So after that interesting debate, it is clear that there are very valid points for both for and against the legalisation of euthanasia. Thank you Nadine and Shauna for coming into the studio and educating us. From all of us here at W2F, stay classy Australia and thanks for stopping by.